People, what up? What's good? We got another OTA balance update video where we look at the changes and we talk about them. Before we even get into it, man, y'all be sure to hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe as well. I'm on the road to 3K subs. I appreciate it if you can help me get there. And let's get straight into it, y'all. So how many cards we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 8 cards, man. This is a huge patch. Look at Big Sandman, Big War Machine, Big Agatha. Let's get to talk about him. Let's get right into it. So Sandman looks like they're nerfing him. It looks like they're drastically nerfing him, right? So his old stats were on reveal. Players can only play 1 card next turn. 2, now his new stats are on reveal. He is 5'7" now. He was 5'6" before, but now his ability is on reveal. Next turn, cards cost 1 more with a maximum of 6. That's crazy, man. You know what's funny? Sandman this is a nerfed Sandman that's meta right now. Y'all remember, like, his ability was ongoing. You know what I mean? It was not this unrevealed stuff. Granted, I mean, you really see him right now, mostly on Ultron decks, but before then, obviously you could still use him on, but you mostly saw him before when he was ongoing on the the Electro ramp type stuff, to kind of give yourself the advantage when you play like Dr. Doom, Odin, and Leader and stuff like that. So this is tough, y'all. This is tough. Obviously, it's a lot worse. I don't really think that Patriot suffers too much, because I mean, like I said, you did slot him onto that deck with Ultron and stuff, but for some reason, you guys, I don't understand why nobody uses like the Invisible Woman. You hide Patriot and Ultron and probably Blue Marvel, Kazar, or Mystique behind Invisible Woman, just to act as like a pseudo Cosmo, right? I mean, you can still do plenty of stuff with Patriot. Obviously, Doom Wave works with Patriot, right? So that archetype doesn't really get weakened. But I mean, this really hurts for the Electro, the ramp type stuff, I feel like, because you're already, with Electro, you're already putting yourself at a disadvantage. Granted, you got the since Symbiote Spider-Man came out, you could do a lot more cool stuff with it. And you still got Blink, the season pass card that we haven't seen in any caches for months, right? So if you didn't buy the season pass, you really can't use that deck. But I mean, those cards still work in the Electro ramp deck. But I mean, Sandman, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's still gonna negatively impact the opponent. I mean, it's just a lot. This is clearly a lot worse. You get to play more than 1 card now, right? Your opponent gets to play more than 1 card. Let's read what they had to say, and then let's finish up our thoughts on Sandman. We relied on Sandman to be a negative pressure against strong decks that can threaten several cards at the end of the game. However, we've seen over time that when the metagame provides Sandman with that kind of an opening, those decks tend to become a frustration unto themselves. In some ways, it's reminiscent of Leech, and we're pursuing a similar adjustment. Softening the penalty on Sandman will make it less effective at locking down the game, while still meaningfully impacting enemy plays to play a ton of cards. I get it. I mean, the deck was really strong, but I mean, you're always going to beat a Ultron deck with Killmonger. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Make sure you don't have priority by the last turn. Killmonger and you win. Right? Their Dazzler gets weakened. Obviously, all the Ultron bots go away. You probably got cards in the other 2 lanes, so you might lose the Ultron lane and you just win the other 2. So I mean, I feel like it was easy to counter before, but I guess y'all was hating on the boy Sandman, so that's tough, man. But speaking of another card, y'all was hating on Mockingbird. Mockingbird been broken for a minute. She used to be 5'9". They bumped her up to 6'10". That's still a little bit too crazy. So now they bumped her back down to 9 power, but she's at 6 cost still. And it's interesting because now you just can't Shang it, right? it's definitely a nerf. She's weaker, but now you can't Shang her. You know what I'm saying? So let's read what they have to say though. Mockingbird has been one of the strongest cards in a couple dominant decks lately, so we're taking away a power here. It's not uncommon for some players to assume that a 6'9" may be stronger than a 6'10" due to vulnerability to Shang, but this has never been the case in the past. If by some chance it proves true for Mockingbird, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's interesting. I mean, they say that it's never been the case, but they changed her from 5'9" to 6'10" to make her weak to Shang. Now you're just making her strong. You're allowing her to stay on the board, right? So it's more than it's. Even though she's a slightly weaker, your Dazzler is still stronger, because obviously one deck that we see Mockingbird on is something with Dazzler, Marvel Boy, Squirrel Girl, Kyra, that type of thing. So by not being able to Shang Mockingbird, even though you probably wouldn't be able to begin with because of Kyra, unless you like Enchantress the Rogued it, by not being able to Mockingbird, you're also making it so that cards like Dazzler are still buffed, or are better now in those type of decks. Cards like Ant-Man are better in those type of, Kate Bishop, right? Her arrows, her Ant-Man arrow, basically, I forget the names of all of them, but her Ant-Man arrow is not, negatively impacted by her because she's not getting shanged anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I necessarily agree with this change. I low key feel like she's gotten better, even though, right? Even though the numbers literally say otherwise, I feel like she's actually gotten better. Obviously, and that's not even the only deck you want to use, or you can use her in, right? You can use her in anything with Loki because you're taking your opponent's cards. You can use her in different types of Patriot decks, Brood, Absorbing Man, right? Get her down to, what's that, 2 cost? You know what I'm saying? Throw her on the board. Now she can't be killed. You know what I mean? And so, is she not struggling at all? I actually believe that she got better, you guys. Let me know what y'all think, though, man. Let's keep it going. Big Arrow, they went ahead and gave her 1 power. So you know what? She's stronger, but it feels. Let's read first, y'all. We're aware that one of Mockingbird's roles as of late has been providing some amounts of support for Scar. So we look for a few candidates near 10 power that felt ripe to receive a buff. Arrow was such a card, an ideal candidate among 5 costs, given the ability isn't strictly beneficial. You know what? They actually bring up a good point with Scar. I wasn't even thinking about Scar. Right, you're able to play your 6'10" Mockingbird for Scar earlier to get him down to 4. Right now you can't do that, but I mean, she individually, I feel like, is better. Scar is worse because they changed her, but I feel like she's better. But I feel like Arrow is worse now because now she can get shamed. But like they mentioned, Scar is better. It's interesting. Arrow is not really a great card right now because first of all the changes they made to her. And second of all, the changes that they made to the way moving cards works, right? Being that you can't you can no longer like move unrevealed cards, and I felt like that made those type of cards like Polaris, Spider-Man, Arrow a lot better. And it's tough. Obviously, the move decks themselves are pretty strong right now, right? Especially with Madam Web, her just being released. Obviously, Kingpin type decks, the cards where you're moving your opponent's cards. They definitely need some love, so I guess it's cool for that. We also, we got Scorn coming up in like a month or so. I think Scorn is the one where whenever your opponent moves, like take away power from them. Let's look right now, y'all, because I actually forget. Let's look at young Scorn real quick. Little Google search while we in the video, right? Make sure you hit that like button. But yeah, I mean, Scorn is this card. One of them is a move. One of them works with Kingpin though, right? I remember that. And so the decks are gonna get that style of a deck is gonna get a little bit stronger. But I mean, it's tough, right? They got Scar listed. Obviously you can do some cool stuff with probably Zero and Typhoid Mary. Probably play Arrow on turn 5. Scar is gonna be 2 cost, so you get to play like Cold Obsidian and Scar. That type of deck where you're stacking like those those 10 power cards. You could do some cool stuff like that. So it makes that a little bit more dynamic. So I mean, it's cool. It's cool. But like I said, she could get Shang. Shang is on like 11% of decks, and he's always been like one of the most high usage cards. So y'all take that as you will. Let me know what y'all think about Arrow though. We going on to Black Cat. They making everybody Shangable. It looks like 410, but it is a power increase, and we could talk about Ghost Rider alongside, because I mean you use these two cards at the same time, right? So they gave Black Cat one more power, they gave Ghost Rider one more power, kept them at the same cost. It's definitely a positive thing for the discard decks, right? Especially when you think about Hela, the fact that they nerfed her to when she brings cards back, she actually takes away 2 power from them. So she's actually not gonna be in the Shang range most of the time. She's probably gonna be like 4-8, whereas she would probably be 4-7 back then, unless you brought her back with Ghost Rider. But I mean, most of the time people are discarding their Ghost Rider and bringing them both back with Hela anyway. So do it really matter? Probably not. But I mean, yeah, this is cool for the discard decks, right? I feel like discard is pretty strong, has gotten a lot stronger. Even though they nerfed Hela, it's gotten a lot stronger. I feel like after the release of Gwenpool, and since they buffed what's his face, Moon Knight, right? You being able to like hit Proxima Midnight consistently, right? We we had a Meek adjustment a while ago that made the discard decks stronger, right? So on top of the fact that you can use cards like the Collector on discard, right? So I mean, I'm not mad at making the archetype a little bit stronger. Maybe it's not that strong right now, but I definitely feel like it's not struggling. But these 2 cards in particular were kind of underwhelming when it came down to the discard archetype. So I like to see it. I like to see it. We could read what they had to say though. Likewise, Black Cat's seen a big dip following adjustments to Hela and Black Knight, so we're adding power here as well to see how it impacts the play rate. Man, they don't care nothing about Black Cat. They probably got some variants coming out. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going. And then Ghost Rider. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, right? We ain't got to talk about Ghost Rider. Y'all let me know what y'all think about those 2 cards. Let's move down to Moon Girl. I feel like I never see this card anymore. So, I mean, it's great. It's great. I feel like, because she was so weak, a lot of people would rather just use, Nick Fury, right? Who they buffed. And, back then, the Devil Dinosaur kind of was replaced by Loki. And since they adjusted, the Loki archetype, or the card in itself multiple times, you kind of make a little bit more room for Devil Dinosaur type decks. So they do need some love, because you don't see that. Obviously, Devil Dinosaur is not the only way you can use Moon Girl, but those 2 cards always go together. So I like the change, right? Because we never see that archetype in it. It probably needs some love, right? Like I said. Let's read what they had to say. Another card capable of fueling some unique combos. Moon Girl's Time in the Sun faded pretty fast once Loki hit the timeline. We like to explore pushing this card back towards some of that former glory, and in fact, we started by trying a 3-cost version initially, but it was totally cracked, so don't expect to see that change anytime soon. We might have considered more power here, but given how strong decks with Mockingbird have been lately, we err more cautiously. It's and you know what? I feel like you can definitely use Mockingbird with Moon Girl, because you're putting a new set of cards in your hand. Obviously, you got your Quinjet probably, to make those cards cheaper as well, to make them easier to put on the board. But like I said though, y'all, if you're gonna use Mockingbird, like why not just use the Shanna Kazar Marvel Boy, that type of thing. Something with Mysterio, something with Brood, something with the type of cards that give you cards that didn't start in your deck on the board automatically, right? Whereas Moon Girl is kind of a two-turn thing. You have to duplicate your hand and then play the card. You know what I mean? So I just feel like she's not. If you gonna go the Mockingbird route, you know, Moon Girl is just ineffective for that. But like I said, man, she needs some love. They said she faded since Loki came around. They nerfed Loki like 1,800 times, so they gotta do something to her, right? It's tough, man. I don't really even see Moon Girl like that, so I can't really give y'all a complete opinion about it. But I mean, I like it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. We got a couple more. Probably the most. I'm gonna save War Machine for last. He's the most important dispatch, I feel like. So let's go to Agatha. So they changed her from starts in your hand, plays the cards for you, to starts in your hand. She plays your cards on even turns for you. This is significantly better. Obviously, it's hard to accurately, I guess, rank Agatha. Y'all know I don't know how to say her name. It's hard to rank her because like there's definitely a viable strategy that you could do with her by putting her in one of those Black Knight type of discard decks, right? And get the 14 power blade, you know what I mean, something like that. But her being random, I feel like why change that? Is there like a Agatha show coming out? I don't like it because she definitely gets better. I can't really tell how broken she's gonna get because half the time she's gonna be making the wrong choice. But I just don't like it from a, I guess from a not like a personality perspective, but like that's what made her unique. You know what I mean? Let's read what they had to say. We're excited as everyone else to see Catherine, that's her name, Catherine Hahn, back for Agatha all along. So we decided to celebrate by letting our own play out a little bit. You'll find Agatha more interested in equal partnership these days, sharing turns with the players rather than keeping them all to herself. We haven't adjusted any other functionality. You'll still see her showing up in your hand as a bonus card too, so you could pull her from the random locations and stuff like that. Interesting, y'all. What do y'all think of this, man? I like I said, this card is so weird. I can't really, I can't really analyze it. If I'm be honest, y'all tell me what y'all think. But I know who we can analyze right here. This is the last card, man. Big War Machine. They done made him broken. So he was on reveal. Now they changed him. Same stat line, ongoing. Nothing can stop you from playing cards anywhere. I feel like this is going to. So first of all, I think this kills like lockdown decks. I think it kills lockdown decks with Professor X and stuff, because if you're able to get your War Machine out on turn 3, and lockdown decks are already not hitting right now, but if you're able to get your War Machine out on turn 3, right, due to Psylocke or Zabu, it's no reason to even think or worry about Storm or anything like that. That's one. Two is, y'all know the combo of Hope Summers War Machine gets 6 energy on turn 5. That way you're able to play Infinite. Now going into turn 6, you got 7 energy, so now you can play Taskmaster and Ebony Maw because his ability enables both of them. So that in itself, I feel like it is very broken, y'all. And it's not even just those cards. There's so many very powerful cards that are locked behind the fact that you're restricted in the way that you could play them, right? Like we said, for example, Ebony Maw, Infinite, Giganto. You got a lot of 4-cost cards in who am I thinking of? Coil Obsidian, Crossbones. You know what I mean? Sentry, probably to a lesser degree. But those ridiculously strong cards have bad abilities for a reason, and now you're able to use them whenever you want, starting turn 4, 5, and 6, right? I think it's gonna be crazy, man. This might even be stronger than a Shuri Red Skull type of deck, right? A deck, first of all, that's already not very strong right now, or not very used right now. But I feel like it's stronger because in the Shuri type stuff, you have to play Shuri and then you have to play Red Skull, and then turn 6 now you only got Taskmaster that you could play. War Machine, even though Infinite is not 28, whereas Red Skull would be 28, you get to Infinite and then Ebony Maw, and doggone Taskmaster before the Ebony Maw, right? And on top of that, since it's 4 costs, right, you can more easily protect your big guys, right? For example, like Shuri, Red Skull, you run into Shuri Sauron. To negate Red Skull's negative aspect of his ability, you got to get Sauron out, but you also got to have armor on the board to make sure you didn't get shamed. You know what I'm saying? With this, for example, you can have your Kyra out on turn 3, right? Protect both your Ebony Maw, your 1 cost 7 power card, the strongest 1 cost card in the game naturally, and your Infinites, and your Gigantos, and your Scars, because you're definitely gonna be able to run Scar alongside that. You know what I'm saying? This is a big change right here, y'all. This is like creating a whole new archetype of a deck. I'm here for it though. I got War Machine. I hope y'all pick them up. Right? We gonna close it out by reading this. Many players, did I read it? I don't think I did. Let's read it. Many players noted that the new activate keyword had the potential to benefit War Machine. We also thought that might be true, but it turned out that even at 3-5, War Machine wasn't quite as effective as one would hope. A card that packs most of its punch leading into turn 6 just isn't an ideal home for activate. So we're going with the backup plan here, changing the on reveal to ongoing. On top of that, I didn't even get to talk about the fact that it's ongoing. So you don't even have to run it in a way that you're using Infinite and stuff like that. You could throw it on your Spectrum deck, boost it with your Captain America 4/9, so you still can't get shamed, right? Boost it with your Captain America, hit it with your Spectrum. You know what I'm saying? This might be too much, y'all. This might be too much, but I think we yapped enough today. We talked about all these cards. Y'all let me know your thoughts. We got all the cards right here. And as always, man, y'all be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, we on the road to 3,000 subs. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.
Yeah.